Today I'm going to walk through, forgive my pronunciation here, Thoth and Sopdet. That's the only time I'll try to pronounce that. So let's get started. I'm going to use a similar Kushinada / Ceres team that I did on another try. Fortunately, I do have a friend with a 297 Ceres this time around. So what that will do is give you enough HP to take an attack from a keeper. They hit standard hits for about 22,500. So if you can meet that threshold, then it'll make stalling on these guys a lot easier. Of course, there's always a chance for Keeper of Rainbow to invade, and in that case, you better kill him before he gets a turn because he hits super hard, like about 65k. Another advantage of having Ceres here is that I do have a light keeper, so I'm actually in a pretty good spot. But the keeper attribute is totally random, so it's best not to rely on that. So either plan on killing them right away, or make sure you have enough HP. The only quirk with these guys is below 25%, they will use another attack that hits for about 45k. So plan accordingly. If you have enough HP to take a standard hit, then there's really no rush to kill him. So good opportunity to stall for all your skills. See here, I'm getting pretty close. I actually wasn't careful there because that combo could have put him into his 25% range. I think I would have no. Yeah, I probably would have survived it since I have Ceres around, but again, it's not always going to be a light or dark keeper, so if you are getting close, it's best to stall out until his turn refreshes. So as you can see right now, I have 3 turns to take out the rest of them, which hopefully shouldn't be an issue if I'm careful here. I'm pretty sure I'll survive it, but I'll just use Izanami here. Ideally, I would have stalled more for my skills to make sure those were up instead of just blasting through them. And that might be enough. Okay, we're fine. So the next round, actually that shield does come in handy. Griffin will use a gravity attack. It's 99%, so most cases that would have brought me down to 1 HP or 1% of my total, whatever that figures out to. So what he'll do after that is alternate between binding one of your units and a 12k attack. So actually, if I didn't have any recovery orbs here, I still would have had an extra turn to heal up, which is nice. And that's pretty much all he does for this round, is just alternate between a bind and a 12k attack. So really not as bad as some of his other iterations where he just blasts you right off the bat for probably more damage than you can sustain. So here my Kushinada's bound, so my damage output is going to be a little bit low. I do have multiple ways of recovering from that. I waited out that Hunting Gale because Ceres, her bind remove also heals me. Not a big deal because I probably would have recovered it back anyway, but it's good to optimize what you have around. So if you have spare recovery orbs and you're gonna use that bind remove awakening, best to take a hit first so you can recover yourself while removing that bind. And I can probably just take my time here too, but I really have a lot of short cooldown skills, so I don't need to stall. So just be careful of the binds you have, and take your time getting them down if it's appropriate. Of course, those binds can add up, so make sure you have some means of either getting rid of them or just killing Griffin quickly. I'll Alternatively, you can wait him out for the next round. It's going to be a random chaser. Above 50%, they don't do a whole lot. So here I have a flame chaser. He'll only hit for between like 6k and 8k damage. Once they hit 50%, they'll do like a 5-turn attack buff on themselves, and their damage output gets a little stronger. And also below 25%, they'll do a pretty hard-hitting hit. And each of these chasers are pretty similar. They'll do an attack that will change what they're weak to. No, it'll change a random orb to their primary color. So it could be inconvenient if they target your recovery orbs, but in most cases it's not too terrible. A lot of times they'll just change the same color into their attribute, which is a bit silly, but it's probably a flaw of programming, or a lazy form of programming, rather. So this is another good round to charge whatever skills you have used or have left remaining, as long as you keep them above 50%. Looks like I'm about to cross that threshold right here. Since it's a Flamekeeper, I don't really have any resistance to his damage from Ceres, which isn't a huge deal because I have other means of that. But once he's in chase mode and he hits below 25%, he'll hit for about 25k. It's about like 21 HP below that. I don't have enough HP to sustain that, so I do have to be careful how hard I'm hitting here. An alternative is I could wait out his chase mode. It's only 5 turns, so I could wait that out. If I had a delay, I could pop it if I wasn't feeling quite certain. Since I'm heavy grass attribute here, I'm not doing a whole lot of damage to him. So if you're running similar like a Bastet team, then something to be aware of. Make sure you can either kill him in one shot or have some means of resisting all that damage. And Bastet's actually a pretty good combo lead for this because part of the quirk of this dungeon is you have to kill the bosses at the same time, so her mass attack really does come in handy. I'll pop Izanami here, just in case I bring him down into that threshold. Let's try not to hit terribly hard and get in there in a premature way to where I eat his killing move. So he has one more turn, and then his chase mode will be over. I'm actually not sure if it refreshes. So there's that overheat. That would have done 25k if I didn't have a shield up. I'm actually not sure if he'll use it again, so... Oh wait. Okay, if he uses it again, right now it'll be about 12k, so just in case, I'll use Ceres here. I don't think my Recovery Awakenings will put me into a safer threshold, but I kind of want to find out if he'll refresh that chase mode, so I'm going to try not to kill him here. Okay, so he does refresh chase mode. So my shield's down, so I better start popping Kushinadas, because he'll just be using that final move at this point. So again, best to kill him quickly, either before they go into chase mode or before they get into that sub 25% threshold. Let's get a row in here. That should do it. It's actually more efficient to go that route, even with having a combo lead. A bit silly. Okay, so here we have Ra. Since I do have Ceres around, the damage he deals will be halved. His first turn, he'll give you a buff or debuff, depending on how you want to look at it. and increase the rate of fire orb drops. In my case, I really don't need those. He has high defense and only 44 HP, so it's basically another one of those guys you just have to burn down with the amount of attributes you have on your team. He's also one of those where his attacks get progressively stronger, so the best method to deal with him is just use a raw to just pierce through that defense. You could also use Bane or Darkside, recently released, to get rid of him. Or if you have enough sub-attributes, as I do, have the maximum, so you can burn him down in 4 turns if you have the appropriate orbs on your board, which I might be able to do here. Because by the 4th hit, so his 5th turn, since he uses that fire orb drop improvement, he'll hit for about 77,000, or no, 77k, yeah, 77,000, and unless you have some shields or damage reduction, then you most likely won't be surviving that. In my case, the 50% damage reduction plus a Kushinada shield will let me survive it, but I didn't need it because I took him down in 4 turns pretty quickly. Okay, so Isis, she does hit you with ambush. It's only 5k, but make sure you have enough HP to take that. Above 50%, she'll either change green to water or dark to light, and hits for about 8k. Nothing too terrible. Just be wary of once you get her down to 50%, she will use a skill bind. It's only 5 turns, but there's a caveat to that because she'll start hitting for about 16k, and that's really hard. Hard to sustain if you're getting bad luck with your recovery orbs, because you know, 1 turn without them and you're screwed, and you also don't have access to your active skills. I'm actually not completely immune to the skill bind again, but once I get her down into the light, then I'll be resisting her damage, so she'll still be doing about 8k, fortunately. So I have an 80% chance to resist the skill bind. We'll see if it actually happens. And once she's down into that threshold, that's all she'll use. So no more orb changes, just pure damage. So here comes the skill bind. Okay, so 20% chance for that to happen, and it did. Of course. So I could either try to kill her or wait it out. My call would be to kill her because she does hit pretty hard. It might be better to deal with the boss's attacks without your skills than anything she's throwing at you. But I do have the damage reduction, so in my case here, it's really not a huge deal when I decide to proceed. So I'll just attack her as normal and see what happens. She has about 2 million HP, so nothing too terrible. This next turn should do her in. If we get some orb matches in here, get some dark from Izanami. Okay, nothing too terrible. Still have a couple turns on my skill bind. They do have a preemptive, so that will reduce one of the turns on it, which is kind of neat. So Sopdet will put up a combo shield and status shield for Thoth. So Thoth is mostly kind of a troll guy. He'll jam you and give you poison orbs. He really does pitiful damage, like about 2k with each of his attacks. Sopdet will change your light or dark orbs into recovery. I think they go through a cycle, and it's not entirely random, so Sopdet will do light to heart and then dark to heart, and then Thoth will alternate between jamming your fire orbs, poisoning random orbs, and then I think he'll bind one of your units after that. And again, These guys have to go down at the same time, or else the other will revive the one who just died at 50%, and that can really throw off your game. There's one last quirk to this to really be wary of, is below 20%, they'll just start using, you know, like a finisher move. Sopdet will hit for about 15k and 20k on Thoth. So, you might have enough HP to take that, but if you're dealing with both of them, then that could be troublesome. So best to get them around that threshold, and then, you know, plan on killing them with either a final burst move, which, you know, most teams kind of plan for, or, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to get rid of them, and this is where someone like Bastet would come in handy, where you have the multi-target attack and really split up your damage without having to worry about mass attacks. And that's actually a good thing with the combo leads. In my case, I'm going to try to get some row attacks out, since I do have the damage reduction from both dark and light. I should be able to take both their attacks, and I also have shields at hand if it comes to that. So Ceres is actually, well, Ceres and Minerva and all the awakening, or the recent awoken gods, are actually pretty good leaders for this. Just might take me a while to get them down. They each have 3 million HP, so this could take some time. And since they're changing a lot of my orbs around, it's kind of hard to stash, you know, green orbs for, you know, a few row attacks. Another good thing is that Ceres is immune to bind, so I don't have to worry about that leader skill being bound and taking, you know, an unexpected amount of damage, you know, after being used to her damage reduction from her leader skill. Kushinada leader can still get bound, but I have plenty of means of dealing with that. Since Sopdet creates hard orbs, it makes using that recovery, or that bind recovery awakening, really easy, because I'll most likely have more than 6. So really, as long as you can deal with their attacks, you'll have a very steady supply of recovery orbs. I'm really not dishing out a lot of damage here because I've been talking, but let's see if we can speed this up a bit. And I did something silly there by leaving one poison orb left on my board, and that just really kind of screws things up. It'll come back, you know, through his cycle, but it's best to try to get rid of those, you know, in 3s if you can, or at least have 3 left over, 3 or more left over if you know, if you're going to clear them out, but not clear out all of them. Especially in dungeons where, you know, let's see if I can get that in there. Okay. In dungeons where, you know, that's like the only time it will happen, and then, you know, it's just kind of left on your board, really screwing things up. It's really terrible for combo leads, because you really want to take advantage of all the board space you have available. It was a decent attack, but it still didn't seem to do a lot to him. So I'm slowly getting there. Once I get closer to 50%, I'll have to be a little bit more careful. I'll be resisting their damage, but I'll still be taking a hefty sum. If they're both in 20, then, you know, it'll be about 17k, which, you know, it's manageable if I have the orbs, but I won't be getting the recovery orbs from Sopdet anymore, because all they'll do is just do their attack on each turn. So at the most, you know, you can get 1 into 20% and just plan on having them both die. I guess another thing you could do is try to delay Sopdet and finish off Thoth. Sopdet's not immune to a delay, so you can really take advantage of that, take out Thoth, and before she gets her turn to revive him, you can finish her off in the turns you have remaining through the delay attack. Okay, I actually just healed her there because that was a pitiful combo. I actually forgot about that. And she took out a lot of my green orbs there. It's a little obnoxious. This is probably taking longer than it should, so let's see. So since she has that combo shield, it might be difficult to get some row attacks in there. That one was successful, but once it gets down to the wire, then I'll really have to be careful. And I really don't want to have to try to burn them down from 50% again. Okay, I have some dead jammer orbs there, but I think I can get rid of those on the next turn. In her combo shield, it's only 5 or less, so if you can hit 5, which you should be able to with pretty much all the boards, then you'll be okay. I might be able to get another row in here. Let's see if I can risk it. Some combos there. Sky drop. Okay, they're both getting pretty close, and I'm actually in a good spot. They have about similar HP. So, you know, if you're doing single target damage, try to alternate between them. You know, keep them mostly even. So you have another row at hand here, so let's see if I can, well, depending on what happens here. Okay, I'm still okay. Might be able to get that at the bottom, so let's try that. Get rid of these poison orbs, and run out of time there. I still got up to 5 though. Okay, they're not quite at 20%. So if I do another mass attack, that might do that. So let's try that. Make sure my health is topped off. I could have gotten another water sky drop right there, but it was a little slow. Okay, so 18k each turn with that. Pretty painful. Let's use a shield. If I stagger my shields, then I'll be able to cycle through my Kushinada. Not terribly unreasonable. I should be able to get a steady supply of recovery orbs between those. And since they're not orb changing here, I can try to stash some of my wood orbs and get some good row attacks in here and hopefully finish them off. Okay, so with the shield, it's only 4.5k. I still have recovery orbs to recover from that. I do have a row ready, but they're a bit staggered here, and I do want to get my health up. So let's clear out some more of these. Maybe get a dark match in there. Okay, use another shield. I have a good row attack here ready, so hopefully I don't screw up the combo count. Oh shit. Which I just did, so... Oh, that was bad. I think I undid one of my combos. Okay, so now Sopdet is back into her plus 25%, or plus 20% HP. I have to be careful not to do any mass attacks here. I won't be getting any poison or jammers, which is kind of nice, so I can focus on just trying to get her down. And I have to be careful with my combos and not do something lame. Okay, now she's back into it. We're still not that even. I'll use another shield here. Hopefully one more attack will level her out a bit. And hopefully not kill her. Okay, so I think that's a manageable HP threshold there if I get a good row attack in there and don't heal her again this time. I just want to clear the board for some green orbs. Let's get another shield. So, okay, maybe I was mistaken about my staggered shields there. Unless I used too many. Let's see. So let's get my health back up. Okay, I'm out of Kushinada. I do have a mass attack ready here, so that's I'm still not entirely comfortable trying that though. So I'll use Ceres and get my health back up. I probably shouldn't have done that. Used Izanami because now I have to wait 3 turns to use my Kushinada on the next turn. Oh well. So let's do that. And we'll give it a shot here, and hopefully that'll finish him off. Oh, just barely. Okay. Alright, that was a really long boss, but it's actually kind of fun trying to accomplish that. So there's more reasonable teams that can take them on. I guess if you're running double series, you'd want to have a lot of row boosts on hand and some good orb changes to take out that last bit. If you're running 2 of them, then you'll have a 75% damage reduction, so you won't be taking a whole lot from their below 20% attacks. So good luck if you're trying to get them. I don't think they're terribly useful, either one of them, as units, but if you're into collecting or you just want to finish the dungeon, then I hope this was helpful. Good luck.